My guest knows all about this, Tom Arnold. He is here tonight, and he's going to talk about a story he is not told, a story that was, I want to say it was secret. You weren't even aware of it as it was happening. Right. I don't think you were.
Right.
And I know I wasn't, because I was there standing by your side during part of it. So
Yeah.
what are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, first of all, I'm very happy for Gerard Butler. He's a great guy. I hope he gets some peace, and I'm sure he will.
You should reach out to him, because, as you
absolutely.
know, the next part is really the marathon.
Absolutely. I'm sure he already has a bunch of good friends, and Hollywood has a great
rich community.
It does.
Rich community.
It does. You know, I come on here and I come on shows and I talk about addiction a lot, and you know, I do have a lot of experience, you know, my own with this. But there's something that I haven't spoken about. In 1989, December 10th, I got sober, went to rehab. It was very public.
That was more you then saw yourself as a cocaine addict.
Cocaine addict, alcoholic, yeah. And since then, I went into working a good program, like you say. I spent a lot of times going to meetings, talking to other people that were alcoholics, being of service to other people that were alcoholics, many years, almost 20 years, and thinking that I had it. I got a little arrogant, and it is a baffling, powerful disease that comes in many ways. Now that I look back on it, probably in 2006, I remember I broke a rib during a little funny fight on a TV show that got out of hand, and I went to the doctor. I kept saying, I knew so many guys that were addicted to pain medication and opiates, and I said, I'm not an opiate guy, I'm a cocaine guy.
I'm not a pill guy.
I'm crazy.
You can't imagine how many alcoholics I hear say that.
Right.
It's like, those pill people. Those guys do pills.
And I should have known. The point is, I should have known, of all people. I've taken people to rehab for this very reason. And so...
But wait a minute. Let's go back to that moment. You had a legitimate pain need.
Yeah.
You went to a doctor. You appropriately were given some pain medication because you were in pain.
Gave me 8 Vicodin. And I do remember when, maybe the second one or third one I took, something clicked. And, you know, I always say, I like peanut M&Ms, but if you've only got regular M&Ms, I'll eat those, okay? So something clicked. And, you know, it was a Friday night I got injured. So I thought, I'm not going to bother my friends, whatever you call them, your sponsors, whatever you call them. I'm not going to bother, because I got this handled. It's 8 Vicodin. If I'd have made that call and reached out, I wouldn't be where I was.
And let's applaud your doctor who only gave you 8 Vicodin.
Right.
And they might have given you a 30, and it could have been really...
Oh, I went back for 90 on Monday. Trust me. There was it was quick. It was quick because I thought I truly am in pain. A broken rib hurts, so I didn't start immediately as it happens. Just start eating pain medication, but things came up. I had a back, I twisted something, whatever, and then instead of any other kind of treatment, I said, well, I'll get pain medication.
Well, let me stop you, because I want to sort of roll out how this story evolves for you, because it's such a common story. I mean, somebody was successful in recovery. This is how Adam Goldstein went down, too.
Believe me, I know him well.
Same exact thing. He had legitimate panic and anxiety, and boom, it took him out. Really, there's more to his story. I wish you were here to tell it, God knows.
Right.
But you're legitimately in need of pain, and you know what to do, but your thinking is now broken because you're under the influence, and so off your disease goes, and you get a big supply. And once you're taking it regularly, people should be aware of this, chronic, like 2 or more weeks exposure to opiates, it gives you low back pain. It causes back pain. That's part of the withdrawal, the chronic withdrawal of opiates. And so you go back to the doctor going, I've got this horrible back pain. You're taking 3 to 6 Vicodin a day, and then they give you...
Right.
They give you something else.
Of course, they give you something else. They give you more, or they give you Oxycontin. Or, because you do get used to it quick. So 3 to 6 is not enough, and then it's 12, or they give you a more powerful medication. But I don't blame the doctors. I blame me. I mean, I have all the information. And when I hear about Whitney Houston and her friends are saying, "Oh, she's sober. She was just drinking and whatever." Drinking is not sober, but I also
carrying a loaded gun.
But I also believe everybody in her life that was close to her tried to help her. So I believe it's on. She'd been to rehab a few times. It's on me for what I did. It's not on the people around me or doctors.
But let me play a little devil's advocate. Your thinking was broken. You were in a state where your thinking was broken. I don't like to blame the patients when their thinking is busted. Somebody should have sent something. And I mean, you guys are good. I'll grant you that. Addicts can hide stuff. So you were hiding that off from your sponsor.
Absolutely. I hid it, but I was also, when I stopped and looked back, I said, man, I've been a phony. Who am I? I'm full of it. I was taking other people to rehab and telling them what to do and doing interventions and all this phony stuff, when in fact I had this, I had relapsed myself. And I didn't realize it at first, because I thought, I'm within the bounds of this thing.
You're following doctor's orders.
I'm following doctor's orders, but then, but I wasn't working my program correctly, because there is a procedure where you speak to someone, and they bring up those things like that, and I didn't do that intentionally. That's my disease. So in 2008, I had a motorcycle wreck. I broke my back, and now it was on. I remember laying on the PCH highway, and I could hear the ambulance coming, and I just knew, oh my God, I was so excited, because in about 30 seconds, I was going to have morphine, and I knew it was going to be just, so that I was deep into it by then. You know, it came to a head. I was in Shanghai with Ashley, and who really saved my life. There's
Your wife,
people talk about their wives saving their life. My wife,
I was
literally,
I was there.
Yeah.
She literally saved.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we have about 2 minutes to get to that part of the story. So
exactly. So you know, I was in there. We had a dinner, and she gave me a 20-year sober thing, an emblem, a chip, or whatever. And it was, I remember by now, I was not able to even lie to myself. I said, I have relapsed. I'm not even sure when. And after I got sober again, I went back and documented when it was, but I'm full of it.
But now you went to a addiction doctor.
Right. But before that, the next day after she gave me the 20-year chip, she went shopping in Shanghai, and I went to the American doctor hospital and went in and said, hey, I've got a hurt back. You know, and I had a fractured vertebrae still that just probably never heals.
Right.
It was my go-to thing. I said, x-ray my back. It's there. More pain medication. You know, I also tried, I ordered it off the internet once, which is like, you know, who knows what that even is. And so I was in full-blown relapse. And so I finally said, I got it. Before I tell my close friends, my buddies in the program, I'm going to get off of this, and then I'll be honest with them. That's such a lie, and I couldn't do it. And so this was in December of 2009. So it just goes on, and now we're in the summer of 2010, and I have about once a month I end up in the emergency room, and that's a big tell. We get super sick once a month, and it's either because we've overused or because we're detoxing. And when you detox, you are sick.
Right.
And even from this pain med, which had gone up. So in July, I finally came clean with people to a point. You know, I wasn't 100% honest still, but I went to an addiction specialist. And so she started taking down, you know, at the time I was taking Norco, and she started taking down. And then we got down to 3 Norco a day, which is, you know, you should be able to live with this. And by the way, the only reason I'm alive is because I never went back. I never believed I was in a relapse for a long time, so I never went back to cocaine. Because people, what happened to DJM is he said, oh, I'm in relapse. I might as well go back to what I used to do and smoke it and do these other things. And that's what killed him, you know, if he'd have stopped. And if I went back to even drinking and using pain medication, I would be dead. Yeah. But I almost died anyway. So I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I go to bed on the 9th of August 2010, wake up with terrible intestinal pain, which is what I'd had before. I'd always felt I had a blockage. Finally, Ashley says, you got to go to the hospital in an ambulance, because I couldn't move. I get in there. They look at me. They examine me for several hours. She goes home. They call, say, come pick him up. But she comes back, and I'm completely out of my mind, just not making any sense. And she said, something's wrong with him. I am not taking him home. Now, if I had gone home, I'd be dead, because my colon had ruptured. Yeah. You know, and I was septic.
From all the backup.
From the backup, and you weaken. Opiates will weaken your insides. You know, there are long-lasting effects to drugs like cocaine on your heart and these other things. And you may not even be on the drug when it hits you. Yeah. So that's what happened with me. So I was septic. I was poisoned, and the new doctor came in and said, "Oh man, he took me up to operate, cut me straight open, and just at a bad angle. I ended up with hernias because of it." But he cut me open, and then he said, call his family, because I went into a coma for 3 weeks. So I was in a coma. He said, my family came out. I didn't even know they were there. Yeah. You know, and so my wife went from taking her husband to the hospital to check out this intestinal thing to, we think he's dead. We think he's going to die soon. You better get, so what, she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know all the lies that I've told her. She doesn't know the lies I've told everybody about, you know, how sober I was for those years. She only knows that, oh, I'm a sober guy, I got friends, and I do this. So, you know, I'm in here, and she's got to figure things out. I know one of the things she did was to call you, because she had no...
She figured out, she had a hint, she figured out really fast, and the thing that scared her to death is their plan was to put you back on opiates. Right. That was their plan, to give you Suboxone or methadone or something. And I said, no. Well, and she got in the way of that like I've never seen.
Right. Well, she was
fantastic.
She's, you know, she's the best. She's the best. And, so anyway, I'm in there, and I start to come to about 5 weeks at UCLA. And I'm starting to come to.
And I
okay, good. Just but very quickly, she comes in one day and says, I need to show you something. Because I didn't see the wound. I had a wound that I was open that much inside of me. Or that, and she goes, she showed me a mirror, and I saw what I'd done to myself. And it made me sick. And she said, there's one more thing I have to show you. And she pulled back this cloth here and showed me that I had a colostomy. And I said, oh, my life's over. That's it. And then she says, well, thank God it's temporary, but that's what I had done to my body by using pain medication. Yes. That's